Oh, we lost Sagar. Yeah, no, he's back. There we go. Yeah, that threw me. That's not what I expected to see.
That's very professional
Uh,
intro, Spot. There we go.
Good evening, good morning, hello, wherever you are. And I'm Sparks. Happy Friday. This is Footy Corner. We got Sagar, who's a new guest on the channel. How are we doing, my friend?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Happy it's Friday. I'm happy it's the last Friday of my week. As I said to you before, yeah, I've had a week off Fridays, so yeah, bit of a bizarre one, but there we go. Tabs, how we doing, my friend?
Yeah, good. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend. As you said, it's Friday, so yeah, should be the wife's away, so
Oh, even
yeah,
better.
so it's don't worry. All it means is all the housework is down to me, so that's it. That's the most interesting thing.
Well, yeah, but all the good stuff's down to you as well, yeah.
Exactly. There we go.
So,
All right, how you
yeah.
doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I've had a few incidents with the cat yesterday.
Yes, I heard.
It was yeah, it wasn't very well, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Good.
Guys, before we start, if you are in here and you want to contribute, there's the chat button. Please make sure you just mention anything. Try to keep it respectful, and make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing the live. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. First off, you were at the Fulham game, Tabs, were you?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
So we'll briefly gloss over that. We're not going to go too deep into it, but what were your thoughts on the game? Just because we weren't live yesterday.
Yeah, I mean it was a game of a high and a low, really. I mean, the football aside, it was a very Arsenal game. I think we dominated. We were in control most of the time, but a very Arsenal performance in terms of we were sort of lacking in much threat in the first half, but then eventually grew into the game. And yeah, I think the better team won. But yeah, it was the two big stories of the night were obviously Saka, his return, and that was great, and he gets his goal, which was inevitable and hilarious. I found it hilarious. I just couldn't. I didn't really celebrate. I just laughed. But I think everyone or all the joy was sucked out by the Gabriel injury and potentially Timber. So whatever joy we were allowed to have for those few minutes was sort of overridden by Gabriel, and then the news yesterday that he's out for the season. Because everyone's got Madrid on their mind. So yeah, that was so yeah, bittersweet. Shall we say bittersweet?
Yeah, definitely. Martinelli had a good game, so that was quite refreshing. That somebody stepped up to that. So hopefully he can carry that through the Everton game and the Madrid game. So it offers another dimension from just running in a straight line and such like. It was nice to see him do a few different moves rather than just run in the same direction.
I think that was his first good game in over a year, like as far as I can remember.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's his first good game, but I think it was his first game that he excelled in, wasn't it? It was obviously he was taking he was taking it to him to Fulham, and he had the fullback on toast pretty much the whole game. But I particularly like that he wasn't doing the same thing time and time again, and getting down the blind alley. He basically turned him inside out and taught him a new one, which is exactly what we want to see with the Madrid game coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got the win, but it could have been kind of detrimental at the end of that game, couldn't it? It's Muniz scored the header that he should have scored, really. We could have been having a different situation. But does it now lead to rotation in the Everton game where we kind of resting players, making sure we don't get another injury, or we go in full throttle and hoping we don't get another injury. Where's the effort with that?
Look, is a choice. Do you stick or twist? I mean, the thing is also who does he play? Because it depends who's available. Because if today he said in his press conference that they're going to have to check tonight or tomorrow morning on the availability of Timber and White, so we could easily be starting with Partey at right back. You know, if you've got those semi-fit players, you don't really want to risk them. But then who else do you play? You have to play Saliba, you have to play Kivior, and you have to play MLS. I think especially just so, at least for the Madrid game, they get a chance to play together and get used to their shapes and the relationships and stuff like that. Because who do you rest them for? Because as much as the league's gone, he respects the competition. He's not one to throw games, and Everton away isn't easy. And I'm not. As I said, I'm not really sure he's going to have much choice. So I think it sort of picks itself and then it goes throughout. So I think he's one for momentum and so on. And he's like, look, we focus on the next game. It's Everton away. I think he'll play basically the strongest side possible, going to the Madrid game with momentum, because I think he still wants to finish second, and it's not going to be easy. Everton away never is, and they don't think like us in the same way that we're always fearful about injuries and so on. The manager thinks it's a game to be won, and I want to win it, and these are the players I'm going to put out there to win it.
Saka, do you agree with that? What do you?
Yeah, I agree with him as well. Like, we need the momentum. So, and especially after the international break, we played just one game and we lacked much fitness at the end of it, right? So I would say just go with the strongest 11, or even take this as a dress rehearsal for the Madrid game, and just play them, and hopefully we can grind it out. And especially the fact that Everton played on Wednesday and we played before them, and they have less rest, so we should just go with the strongest 11, buddy the game like 60 minutes in, and then try to rotate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a bit of two minds, to be honest with you, whether that is the case, whether we rest players or not, or we just kind of bring in other players.
So what would be your starting 11 then?
Look, I this is the problem. This is where the whole kit and caboodle is kind of getting thrown up in the air, because we don't have players, do we? The top and bottom of it is you've got to play youth players who aren't really in the squad. They aren't listed in the squad, and you're not throwing the game, but you're almost throwing the game, aren't you? So it's killing momentum for a start off. But at this moment in time, I would say Champions League's assured now. We didn't drop points at Fulham where we could have dropped points, so it affords the question. Do you know what I mean? Rather than we must beat Everton. It's now a situation where it's like, okay, do we really have to? Can we just use it as a?
But as I said, we don't have much choice. So I said, okay, I've got a feeling it could be, if Timber and White aren't fit, then Partey at right back. You have to play Saliba, because who else do you play at centre back?
Timber is, apparently, isn't he?
Well, they're assessing him tonight and tomorrow morning, so it's not 100%. But even then, if he's markedly, so yeah, mate. Okay, so if he's fine, so you play Timber, Saliba plays, and Kivior plays, of course, and then you got MLS, or you could put Zinchenko or Tierney. But just looking at the way Arteta goes in these things, I think he more starts with a strong team, and then, given how the game state is, then he may take players out. I mean, I don't think Saka's going to start, so you could have a midfield of Rice, Odegaard will play, and Partey, and if Partey's at right back, then Jorginho, and then up top you'll have Martinelli, Marino, and Waneri, or maybe Trossard for Waneri. So I think the options to rotate and change things up are pretty limited, and And as I said, they don't think the way we think. We're always fearful of injuries. They're cognizant of it, but we've got a game to win. This is what it is, and unless it's really, I don't want to risk someone. He will play a relatively strong team, partly out of no choice, and partly just because that's the way he is, and he wants to keep his system as he is. So he slots players in and out based on the system, and yeah, he's got form with that, and I will take it. So and then Everton will be after us. They will know we'll have Madrid on our mind. So you need to have a strong team out there, because there'll be Moyes will have them riled up, and the Everton crowd, last fixture for us at Goodison Park. So it won't be easy, and it's not for the faint-hearted, as we saw on Wednesday with how Tarkowski was going about the place.
Yeah, going on to that challenge from Tarkowski or whatever his blooming face is. Do you think that was a straight red card? I mean, everybody thinks it's a straight red card, surely.
Yeah, without a doubt. that was. It almost felt like he didn't go for the ball, and he just wanted to just clean the opponent, and that was just not a good tackle. And we've seen those given, and I'm not sure why it was not given, and it took so long to give that decision.
Yeah,
that was
the time it took was the worrying thing for me. It wasn't really the fact that it wasn't even given as a red, but it was the time it took to actually look at it and then go, well, it's not a red card. Well, if you're looking at that for that long, then surely you have to determine it's a red card.
Yeah, I don't know what they were looking at. I mean, yes, he won the ball, but he deliberately left his foot up, and he knew what he was doing, and it was excessive force and endangering opponent. Those are the rules around red cards, or a couple of them. And it's all just smacks of this protectionism of the referees. They don't want to make their mates on the pitch look bad, and they'll back the decision. But there had to be a red card, And he won the ball. It's irrelevant, because you're still excessive force endangering opponent, and he could have easily at least tried to minimize it. In a way, it's better that his leg stayed where it was, because if it was lower, it would have hit his ankle. That was potentially an ankle breaker, at least. I don't know, but it was just crazy. And you take your loyalties aside, because you wanted Everton to stay 11 men to at least have a chance of taking points to Liverpool. Not that it matters, but yeah, no, they've admitted it afterwards. It should have been a red, and this is just
that makes it worse, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, well.
This is where the inconsistency is. We've seen those given before, 99 times out of 100. I just don't. Yeah, it's just
the thing is, their job.
In a nutshell.
Their job, the referee's job, is to protect the safety of the players. Okay, that's their primary role as a referee, and that's just a systematic failure, that is, because also they've done it before. They're happy doing minor infractions like kicking the ball away a couple of millimeters, because that's really easy for them to say, oh, that's clear, but it seems to be all the time. There's been so many times where there has been violent conduct, in inverted commas. You see Van Dijk going around the place getting away with it, and stuff like that, and they won't call that out, and that's that's a failure of their job. And you look at that, how can you not deem that a red? But someone kicks the ball a little way, or they do tiny infractions, or this, that, and the other,
or a celebration,
whatever. Oh no, we're going to clamp down on that, because it's really important. But hey, things that might break players' legs, no, we're not so worried about that. And it's just, I don't get that. It just smacks of it again. PGMO, well, incompetence. VAR, just not doing their job. It's just bizarre. It would be really interesting to see why they didn't send. What was their excuse for not sending him off? So
I don't listen to the excuses anymore. I just think that's just an excuse to get themselves on stage. It's a bit more presence for them, and it's a bit more. I can do a show. I can get myself in a limelight. I can explain it away. Mike Dean does it every week. He said it was a red. You've got Dermot on TNT or whatever it is, and Clattenburg is now on one of them, and it's just like, are they still on the payroll or something? And they're just trying to, be a mouthpiece for the PGMOL. Oh, look, it's really difficult, and this, that, and the other. And nobody's disputing that it's a difficult job. I don't dispute that at all. And all these things when, oh yeah, the keepers take too long and this happens and that happens. You've got the power. You've got a card in your pocket. You have all the power. And even if you don't like the way somebody approaches you, throw a yellow card at him and he ain't doing it again. But
it's so weird that the referees book players for waiting like 5 seconds. But referees VAR itself takes like 10 minutes. To give a freaking decision as to if it's a red card or not, or if it's offside or not, if it's a foul or not. And they say that players are wasting time, but this just seems like VAR is like, like before VAR we were all like, oh, let's get VAR, let's get help from outside, and now all we talk about is just VAR, and there's not one weekend that goes by which is clean.
But this is VAR is not the issue. It's the application of VAR is the issue, and the people running VAR. The idea of VAR, so that tackle was not given as a red card. VAR should look at that. That's a red card. Send him off. Perfect. Or offsides. Perfect. So it's the application of it that's all wrong, and how this the protectionism as a result. If they separated it out, so VAR was completely independent to PGMOL, so there was no sort of like boys club or no anything like that, I think you'd get much better decisions, and then quicker ones as well, because they're not trying to find an excuse not to make their mate look bad. They'll say, right, rules of the game are this, that wasn't that, bang. And a bit like last night with the Tottenham game, as funny as it was, how did they look at that 16 times to need to know that was a foul when everyone saw it once? It was a foul. So it's the application and the incompetence of the people using it that's the issue. VAR, we've seen it in Champions League, we've seen it in World Cups. When it first in the World Cup, it was fine. They did it really well. So it's the people behind it, not VAR for me, because I think it can be done well. Yeah.
Especially if it's taking that long, they should know that it's not clear and obvious. Just make a decision right away. Just get on with the game.
I don't know what they were looking at. Well, I do know what they were looking at because they were trying to upgrade it to a red card. But if it's taking that long to look at it and go, yeah, it needs to be a red card, then it's not a red card, is it?
But no, for me, that's more about them. It is a red card. Why did it take so long? Or like the Tottenham one yesterday. I don't know if people saw it. He clearly kicked the guy's knee before he got the ball. You saw it one angle, fine. That's it. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. Yeah.
You mean the goal, the one on
the one that disallowed goal? So Papa.
Yeah.
He kicked the ball, kicked Caicedo as much as.
Well, he kicked his knee first, didn't he?
Yeah, he kicked his knee, and everyone saw it. Yeah. So why do you need to look at it? It was apparently 16 times he looked at it for 6 minutes. It's like, well, that was actually a minute and a half. Well, and so this is why it's down to the incompetence of the people, either on the officials on the day or in the VAR. Because the VAR going, look, he kicked his knee, just that's it. Give a free kick. That's it. It's
and it was with studs. But there wasn't excessive force for me.
No.
I just thought he caught him on his knee.
Yeah, and that's a free kick. You don't have to worry about the yellow card.
Yeah, it's a free kick. I mean, it can't get involved with the yellow cards, we're told.
Yeah.
But apparently now you can walk away and give a yellow card for it. Everything's inconsistent. It doesn't make any sense.
No, you can't get involved in yellow card decisions. But if you see something as a result of VAR that needs a yellow card because of they're overturning a goal because of a free kick, and you see the free kick, it deems a yellow card. They're going back and say you should give a free kick here, and I don't think they advise on the yellow card. So I think it's
right. So if that hadn't been a goal, if that hadn't been a goal, they wouldn't have looked at it at all.
No, if that hadn't been a goal, it wouldn't just play on. It's only
which is nonsense.
It's only because it was a yellow card incident. So it's they don't, because otherwise you're stopping it too much. So it's only because it was a goal that they looked and said.
But they don't have to stop it. Video still works while things are moving.
Oh, because but they want the referee on the pitch to make the final decision, so they have to make.
But it's just but that in itself is just nonsense. It's just like, you know, when there's a goal and stuff, and it's like, well, you need to go through this criteria, but I only want you to look at this bit because this is the only bit I'm unsure about. What? You have to follow the checklist of, is it offside? No, carry on. Is it a foul? No, carry on. Is it handball? No, carry on. Okay. Any other reason we can disallow it? No, goal.
Yeah.
What's hard?
Yeah.
What is difficult about that?
I know, especially last night there was. But
hey, Bearded, how are we doing, my friend? Yeah, but yeah, what did you make of that game anyway? Because just as we're on that topic, because for me, that reminded me of the Fulham game for the whole 90 minutes.
I had it on in the background in mute, and I only just chopped it. I found the Ange stuff very funny afterwards. That was a bit of Schadenfreude watching all of that. It was one of those ones. I hate both teams. There's nothing to
Don't
like
want
about
anybody
it.
to win.
No, exactly. So, you know, I took pleasure in the fact that Tottenham lost, and it's funny, but trying to ignore that Chelsea were happy. So if I can sort of like, I sort of like, one eye shut looking at Chelsea, and one eye open looking at Tottenham. So, but yeah, it's like the worst fixture of the season. It's like, it's just like a horrible fixture, and neither team any good. You know, Tottenham, Chelsea getting a free ride despite spending 1.5 billion, and so it was just I would never watch it for any pleasure. I just sort of, I don't know why I had it in the background. I was just intrigued more than anything else, and then I got the enjoyment with the Postecoglou stuff. So there we go.
Isn't it actually better that Chelsea won? Because that would mean like Newcastle would make it tough for them. I mean, this is like a whole new topic, like it's a completely different tangent. Because
you're going to talk about Isaac to Arsenal. Can we save that one? Because
sure,
we're gonna come back to that one. I don't want it to spin off just yet there, but right. Before we go into that kind of tangent, because it will take us to the end of the stream and whatever anyway. But I actually kind of wanted Spurs to win for two reasons. It holds Chelsea back from the Champions League positions, and it potentially keeps Ange in a job longer.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it's this accolade that they've gone away from home and beaten Chelsea, and obviously Tabsy touched on Big Ange and his antics, and did you see his antics? What he's actually done, Cigar?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw on Twitter as to what happened, like all the videos that came by, and like, I think it was the Tottenham fans shouting that you don't know what you're doing kind of stuff, and the goal went in, and he was all happy that they equalized, and he just put out his hand saying, "What were you saying? What were you saying?" kind of thing, and I think that was that was hilarious. What happened?
Then obviously the goal's ruled out, and he looks a complete mug. But he did in a press conference afterwards, and he's basically having a go at the referees. Well, I don't know if you remember about a year ago when
you got to respect the refs.
You got to respect the refs, and I was brought up to do this, and I was brought up to do that. And if it's taking 12 minutes, well, I don't know about you, Ange, but it didn't actually take 12 minutes. 12 minutes was the combined total of everything, because that's how you get 12 minutes stoppage time. But when he's going off and going, now he doesn't respect the referees, apparently, Tabs.
No. Well, I think his main point that the fact, it took a while, and he doesn't know what's clear and obvious. He was complaining about clear and obvious. No, I know. The main thing for me was that he tried to bullshit, tried to gaslight us to say, "Oh, I was just cupping my ears to the Tottenham fans, so I wanted to hear them say, come on, we've scored."
I didn't do it.
We know exactly what he was doing, because everyone knows that international symbol for. All right, yeah, come on then.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a reason it's a goal celebration.
Yeah, but it was sort of like, we know exactly what he was doing. He was trying to say, no, I just wanted to say, come on, you can sing now because we scored. Because he got booed for making the substitution. The substitute then comes on and score, and he's basically going, I know what I'm doing. Come on then, let's hear you. And he's just like, everyone knows that what he was doing, and he was trying to gaslight us by saying, oh, I just wanted to make sure the Tottenham fans were cheering and stuff. Yeah.
And he almost swore in that interview as well. Did you hear that?
Really?
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, he just scored a bloody good goal," essentially with an F word, and it's like,
I tell you, the interviewer was he was very good. He was definitely poking the bear there a bit, and
quite literally. But I don't think he asked anything particularly wrong, did he? He was well, he does look a bit like a bear, doesn't he? But but yeah, he was digging, and he did this. He does the same for Arteta, and he's like, "You trying to back me into a corner?" And it was like, "Well, no, I'm just trying to get
Sky Sports interviews have gotten good at that. They just want to get some news, and that's why that's where the PGMOL interviews, ref watch comes in, and that's why they want news. And
they're just trying to trigger people, aren't they, and clip people up, and literally just make a meal of everything, and so on and so forth, and it worked, didn't it?
Gotta stay relevant.
Well, unfortunately, I think he's gone in the summer. I don't think he survives this year. I don't think he wants to be there for another year.
I don't think he wants to be either.
Basically, it all fell apart last year against Man City when they chose not to go for Champions League, and they'd rather not get Champions League, and they'd rather we didn't win the title, and it all just fell apart since then, and it's just been downhill since then. And look at them now; they could have been potentially in Champions League and getting that money and a bit of prestige. Instead, they went in the complete opposite direction. It serves them right.
And his comment of he wins trophies in his second season didn't bode well as well.
I mean, he still could.
Please, no.
Theoretically.
Please.
Theoretically, he could.
Yes, they're still in the quarterfinals of the Euro Vars, or whichever one it is. But we'll worry about that near the time. At the moment, I'm still fairly confident.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'd rather see United win it. Obviously, they're whatever, but I don't see either of the English teams winning it. To be honest with you, but if they do, they do. But he still could win something. Do you think that saves his job if he does win it?
Yeah.
Do you think, do you think they all forget about it?
I think so. That would give them a belief and a stepping stone for next season. So, I
think it's like Man United. There's fundamentally stuff wrong with that club. So they've had 18-month managers, and look where they got. It's still the same. And I think I saw a clip on X, the Antonio Conte rant, when he said, "Look, this is just Tottenham. Nothing's going to change here until something changes above." And it's, as Chiellini said, it's the history of the Tottenham. So like with them and Man United, the issue is not the manager. It's bigger than that, and you got to change the culture. You got to change a number of things there before anything else. So I'm not too sure if it makes that much difference if they win, because look what happened to Ten Hag. He won a couple of FA Cups, and there was still that just papered over the cracks.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are similarities for the culture that was at Arsenal when Wenger was there, when he was on his last legs, when the board were just accepting to be in Champions League football, and then all of a sudden when they were hiding behind Wenger and he couldn't do it anymore. And I think that there are big similarities. I think that there's talk of when Walcott did an interview and basically said, when certain players came in, it was like the mentality shift was just ridiculous, because it was going from, oh well, fourth is all right, to we actually want to win something. And that was when Arteta came back as a player, I believe. So yeah, you need things like that to make an absolute mentality shift, don't you? You need the players to be strong enough to basically stand up and go, no, we ain't taking it anymore.
Yeah, but we never ended up like on 34 points after 30 games. So they've it's just not. They've lost half their games this season. Yeah, we never got that bad. It never got as
no,
bad.
I'm not comparing the actual
but I'm just
scenario.
saying,
I'm
we
just
still maintain
comparing.
the level.
Yeah, I'm comparing the mentality and the situation, I guess, to what they're in now, to what we were. So let's be honest, we were in a situation where, it didn't matter what we won, what we kind of, so long as we keep paying the price on the terraces, it doesn't matter. And yeah, it's very similar to what I see at Tottenham now, and I actually feel sorry for Tottenham fans now, because it's really bad, and that must be ring massive alarm bells to any Tottenham supporter, that you've got rival fans who've held rivalry like close for a long time going, I know how you feel, mate. Do you not think that's a big red flag?
Yeah. Pity is much worse than hatred.
It really is, isn't it? It really is, and it's so true. And just like, I've been there, mate. We're out of it now. Well, I know where you're headed. It's just like, you can't do anything about it. You're just spiraling.
Yeah. Isn't it all Daniel Levy though? Like, he wants to run it as a business and not as much as a football club. And
I mean, it's not just him, is it? It's Enoch and whatever, Joe Lewis, and they are just running it as a business, aren't they? So, he's one of the highest paid directors in the league, I believe. But again, we've been in the situation. We were in the situation when we had Gazidis.
The Emirates,
He was exactly the same. All the commercial deals were. In fact, actually, he wasn't the same. He was useless, because basically all our commercial deals were so crap that we never brought any money in. So the only difference is really he brings money into the club and he doesn't want to do anything with it, because he just didn't really give a crap so long as he got paid his money. Or that's the way it seemed. And he's still at Milan, isn't he?
Gazidis?
I think Gazidis is still at Milan, and it's imploding at the minute. So it tells you everything really you need to know about that one, to be fair. But Tottenham stay up, so that's 6 point next season, yeah. At least we've got that one. I wanted to talk about the transfer window, because you kind of briefly skipped onto it, Cigar. So I'm going to start with you, because you kind of tried to take us down that path before we try to do a bit of bashing of Tottenham. So what you're making of what you're seeing on the internet? Are you liking what you're seeing, or are you expectant? Are you hopeful? Where's your head at with where we are at the moment?
I am always hopeful when it comes to Arsenal. Even though I know I'm going to be let down, I'm always hopeful. But then,
see, I've gone the other way.
Too much positivity is killing me right now. But I mean, we're hearing links of Gyökeres and Andre Berta liking Gyökeres, and looks like Zubimendi is locked in, and Garcia as well. Nico, on the other hand, seems like he wants like higher wages, and that's the one that's going to be the issue with us having a good wage structure. And same with Isaac as well. Sorry, I'm touching multiple players at once, but like with Isaac as well, because he's gonna be paid good, if he stays in Newcastle, and if Newcastle don't make the Champions League, he's going to want out, and he would want a good wages paid to him. So I don't see how that would fit into Arsenal's, plans.
Do you think Newcastle make Champions League?
I mean, seeing how like 5 teams can make it into the Champions League this season from England, they have an outside chance. But like, I hope they don't. But I do feel they have an outside chance of making it.
So what would be an ideal summer for you?
Well,
realistically, let's go realistic. I don't want to go in cloud cuckoo land, but
I mean,
a bit realism.
I'm okay with Gyökeres. I want to get one backup for Saka, like Semenyo, Nico Williams, Zubimendi, Garcia, and I'm good with that.
Tabs, do you agree with that?
Well, we've got the backup for Saka, which is Nwaneri now. So it's more we need on the left-hand side. We need something on the left-hand side. But I mean, yeah, it's clear. Look, we need a centre forward. We'll need a midfielder. So Zubimendi, because Partey and Jorginho will be going. We do need a backup goalkeeper. Whether we spend 35 million on one, that's a different story. But yeah, a striker, left forward, centre midfielder, goalkeeper. And then potentially, those are the primary things we need. And then potentially, do we need another attacking forward midfielder type? Don't know. Or do we need another defender? I don't know, because depending on Tomiyasu and stuff like that. Tierney's going, Zinchenko's going. Calafiori's injury prone and all the rest of it. So no, I think the primary needs are centre forward, midfielder. And then we take it from there. In terms of Newcastle making Champions League, I mean they got a game in hand. They're on 50 points. Chelsea are in 4th and 52. So it's up for grabs. And to be honest, I hope they do. I don't. My fear is an Isaac saga, and then we miss out. I'd rather just Isaac get ruled out at the beginning, and we can't get him, and we just make decisive moves for forwards at the beginning, and we know what we're dealing with. And so I just rather just take Isaac out of the question, because it's 130 mil wages. I don't think will be an issue, because we're paying 230, 240 to players. I think the issue with wages for Nico Williams is that he's 21 and still unproven. So all of a sudden 21, 22. So it's fine paying Isaac, established, of an age, Premier League. You give him that money, because we're doing the same for Saka, we're doing the same for Saliba, Rice, etc. Nico Williams, he's still unproven. His numbers this year are not that great. He's very hit and miss. I sort of saw a scouting video about him the other day. He will frustrate the hell out of us, because he tries a load of stuff and he loses the ball half the time. I don't think he's going to be a Pepe regen, because I think he's got a high ceiling, but he's still got a lot to prove. But he's exciting. I think he'll excite the crowd. As for a centre forward, I keep flip-flopping on this. You got Gyökeres.
I'm with you completely.
I've got Gyökeres or Sesko. One day, the Gyökeres is the one. No, I think actually maybe Sesko. And there is no ideal striker out there other than Isak. Everyone else has got potential issues, potential flaws. But we've got to bite the bullet on someone. And I'm still not too sure whether it's Gyökeres or Sesko, or even Etike, or I can't remember pronounce. Yeah. But even him, he seems more of a winger turned forward, and I'm not sure he's the profile that we want. So I'm undecided. I just know we need something up front, and we'll see what happens. But I just do not want a saga where we miss out on targets chasing Isak, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I think Newcastle will get Champions League anyway.
Yeah.
So what with winning the League Cup and getting Champions League, I expect Isak to stay. I don't expect him to want to move at all. I think that any move he's going to have to push for it,
Mm.
and I don't see him doing that. And you know, even if they miss out of a Champions League by a point or two, I don't see him pushing for a move.
But he'll be prime years. He'll be like, okay,
He's-
Newcastle, I've given you my time. I've won you a trophy. I tried to get you in Champions League. He's got to be selfish at some point. And
Yeah,
say
but
this is his prime.
I think he's got a contract until 28 anyway, so that they can put their foot down and basically go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as if they need the money, is it?
No.
But yeah, I can see the argument, and they could potentially go, right, okay, we'll sell him now. That goes straight on the balance sheet, whatever they get for him, and then they can spread whoever they bring in. They can spread it over a term, which helps them with PSR. Now, I don't know how close they are to PSR, or whatever, but you know, they're building something decent. To be fair, I mean, they got Tonali in there, they got Gomeres in there. You know,
Did you guys hear reports about Andrea Berta going in for Bruno, knowing that Isak would be an unrealistic target for Arsenal?
I think Bruno's gone. I think that was an Edu signing. I think people are running with that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there might be another Spanish target that there's potentially in there that we don't necessarily know about, or one that we do in the like of Xavi Simons or somebody like that. But I don't see as going for Bruno. The Brazilian link is kind of evaporated with Edu, I think.
But it's also what he offers versus Zubimendi. So having looked at Zubimendi, he gets the ball and moves on quick. And you know, in the way he sort of plays the sixth role, he's more of an interceptor, anticipator, uses his head rather than his brawn, like Grimmer is. So it's more of also a stylistic fit. I'm not too sure. I mean, these are all good players, but also they got to fit whatever Arteta wants to do in terms of the style. Because you know, is he too close to a Rice, and therefore, you know, how do we play with both those players? So it's and if you look at Partey and look at Jorginho, they're not those physical specimens that are going and kicking people left, right, and centre. So we're a bit more subtle than that, and we use the number six as sort of like a potentially like more of a quarterback role, as opposed to the traditional enforcer role in front of the back four. Because it's just the way we set up and play. So and maybe just you come in your first day on the job. I know I'll get the fans on our side and I'll rattle off a list of players that may sound interesting, and then maybe it's smoke screens or whatever, but it's just to get people talking rather than actual, you know.
Do you think if we bring in Zubimendi that we need to change the system anyway?
No. He would fit our system. It's just actually he'll improve it in a way in terms of he's very, I would say, akin to a bit like Partey and Jorginho, but he'll be quicker with releasing the ball. So at the moment, one of our problems
he's got 2 feet,
and he's got 2 feet, and what the issue is that we tend to take 1 or 2 steps or a bit slow in getting the ball. Get and go, and we.
Yeah, but the step is to get it on your right foot, isn't it?
Yeah. He is. But even then, just
with him having 2 feet, then that obviously speeds the process up.
But also scanning around, he's a bit. Now, I'm not comparing him to Bergkamp in terms of quality, but you knew Bergkamp would know what his next pass was as soon as he got the ball, and Zubimendi sort of got that mindset in terms of if he gets the ball, he knows what he's going to do with it straight away. That type of thing. Whereas with Partey and Jorginho, it's a bit more considered, it's a bit slower. So I think what Zubimendi does is just speed up that thing and gets us up the pitch quicker, which we've all been criticised that we get the ball and then opposition get into shape so much quickly because we're just, you know,
we lack
massively helping the transition, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So
you don't think Rice will end up in the 6? So Zubimendi will be in the 6. Rice would be basically permanently between the 8 and the 6, and we play with Ødegaard basically as it is.
I think yes, because primarily with the way Rice is being used currently, it's because he has those big legs, and with our pressing from the opponent's goal kick, right, that's where he
Horse's
comes in.
legs, apparently.
Horse's legs and lungs, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
apparently, yeah.
so I guess, yeah, primarily, I think I don't see Rice moving away from the like 6 or 8, whatever that position is, because he's pretty good at getting the ball higher up the field and.
Well, it's not really a position at all, is it? It's like a rotational position, and
Yeah.
it's very similar to what Shaka used to do, and
Mhm.
basically just kind of hold between the two positions really, and not really play in 6 or 8, and just
Mhm.
kind of hover and recirculate between the two positions. So it's not really a position at all, is it?
Yeah, no, I mean, not, and to pardon the pun, it's horses for courses. So, yeah, so if we do need maybe someone, more of Rice's stature and style at number 6, he can play there, and then you have Marino at the 8, or Havertz at the 8, and the centre forward. So it's also having those options, and then changing it, making subs to change things. So it's about, again, having those options. But yeah, I think you're right. He just, why waste him in front of the back 4 when he can get up and down? He can sort of crash the box. He can chase back and defend. Why keep him away from the action? He can shoot. He can shoot, and he should shoot more often. So yeah, he's one of these players that can just cover every blade of grass. And I think leaving him at 6 is just a bit. It would just, I think, shackle him a bit, or he'll be too far away from the action.
Do you think that's why they've missed City have missed Rodri, because that's kind of the same thing as Jesus?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the middle ground. He doesn't really do one position, and nobody can step in for him because he doesn't do a position. He does multiple positions.
Plus, I think he's their heartbeat. I mean, everyone would point to Kevin De Bruyne, but no, it's Rodri's the heartbeat of that team. A bit like Odegaard's the heartbeat of our team. So Rodri is the heartbeat of City, and you miss that. Yeah, he doesn't have the subtlety and the skills of KDB, but he's just, again, everywhere and comes up with goals and just a presence, and he doesn't seem to break into sweat while doing it either.
Yeah, my kind of thinking with that as well is that obviously the likes of Odegaard wouldn't have to come back to in front of the centre backs to actually receive the ball, because somebody is kind of there ready to progress the ball and kind of play through in a triangle, as it were, and get the ball up the field more quickly, rather than him being back there, and he should be up there to receive the ball from somebody else to create something. And that's probably why, along with Saka being out and Ben White being out, and that kind of overload on the right hand side, that's probably why we haven't really progressed in our attacking form for quite some time, really. So yeah, while Partey's good, he doesn't offer the traits that we need. He basically needs to be helped out, and it's kind of the spread that makes that happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
But on Williams then, so you do you see that happening, and does he start immediately over Martinelli, or does he have to be kind of worked into a system essentially?
I would personally want Rafael Leao, but that's a whole.
You want Leao? He's another one though that hasn't really performed that well.
But he would help our transition game immensely. Like our left hand side, our right hand side basically is always the attacking side, right? He would help our left hand side a lot. But let's go back to Nico Williams, and even if he does get in, even if we do sign him, I don't think he would come straight away into the 11, because he needs to learn a lot. And basically, I don't see how much he defends right now at Bilbao.
He doesn't.
So he does, yeah. So
he doesn't defend at all. But then you've essentially got Rice in the middle of that space anyway, and the kind of he kind of stops progression in there. Although Martinelli has offered more defensively than than most
That's why
wingers would.
That's why he got his hammies done. So like, yeah, the way Arteta's system works is everyone needs to run back and defend, and like, yeah, that's.
But we're cutting that out by putting Zubimendi in there, by having Rice in the 6 to 8 half spaces, as it were, and then hopefully you're kind of eliminating the Saka coming back and Martinelli, Stroke, Williams, whoever. You're trying to eliminate them coming back, aren't you?
You are like, we won't know until what Arteta does, because
I
right
know
now
it's all ifs, buts,
it's
and
all like,
maybes. But...
yeah. we keep thinking that like the last season, the way we played, we were so attacking, and this season it's just all been control. Don't lose the ball. So like, we don't know what we're gonna get with Arteta's system. Even though it's a 4-3-3, it's always like like it changes. It's all relative. So yeah, we can't say for sure.
But the Fulham first half, that was all by design, wasn't it? It was boring by design.
Yeah, that's what we get.
I wouldn't say it's boring by design. I mean, Fulham put 5-4-1. I mean, they had five at the back. So we get criticised, but if the team just sits there and says, right, low block, and there's no space,
yeah,
it's hard to break down, and especially when you are missing your best creative player, when you're maybe not in the best form. So there's multiple reasons. So I don't think it's boring by design. I think control by design, yes, but Fulham came not to play, and they shoved, and it was five at the back, and actually, the two things were that Martinelli turning Castagna in and out and trying something, and either getting to the byline or coming back and crossing in. He didn't come back on his right foot and cross in every time or pass it back. He actually was a bit more direct. Or when we got the goal was because we managed to break through the lines with Timber and Wineri and did something. But the opposition, we can't play fast-flowing attacking football if the opposition are just sitting on the edge of their box. So it's a and then once we got a bit more into the game, and if we go 1-0 up, we're very hard to beat, and it's just getting that first goal by hook or by crook. And then the second half, we were much more free-flowing and had a lot more space because Fulham had to do something a bit different, and we only looked shaky. I think I was going to say this at the point, is that from 75-80 minutes was when Timber went off, so we were struggling a bit when we both had Gabriel and Timber off. That left us a bit more exposed.
Yeah, they saw the opportunity, didn't they? And then basically went, right, okay, now's the time. We're going to put some pressure on. And but yeah, I think that's what they do, isn't it? When teams like that they choose their moment, like whether it's like the last 5 minutes of the first half or the last 10-15 minutes of the game. It's quite annoying, to be fair, but yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, so, they've got to play their way. They've got to come do what they need to do and say, right, break us down. If they go, hey, getting a point away at Arsenal, not a bad result for most clubs, because you can see we always play better against the better teams, because the teams that want to attack us, we're actually great. We've got some space to run into, but as soon as so then maybe that's what we're looking at in terms of what do we do in terms of our signing, is that, so when we think about the signings, think about how we play, but also think about the opposition, how they play against us. So what sort of profile of player do we need to get that will help us break down these low blocks? Maybe have a bit more presence in the box with some height, like Sesko's 6'7", or someone who will just shoot and not give a monkeys about horseshoe of death. And I've got the ball in my feet, I'm going to shoot and just hit it as hard. Yeah, because then make the opposition think differently. Because at the moment, people know how to set up against us. We're easy to play against if we're not on our top form, or if we're missing our best players. We are easy to play against. So now we need to say, okay, fine. If you think that's how you're going to play against us, we're now going to come up. And Arteta reinvents all the time. This is how we're now going to play next year, because we know what to expect from clubs when they come to the game. So that's when we're thinking about transfers. What's going to help us get through those challenges rather than just more of the same.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, and it's obviously we need a bit more presence on the left hand side to basically take some weight off Saka.
Yeah.
But also adding a centre forward, striker, whatever, that's not, I don't know, multifaceted, if you like. So he's playing in the middle, playing a striker, picking up the ball from a right, picking up the ball from a left, but you're not in the centre forward position. So there's, all right, you're an out, but you're not making yourself a nuisance in the box. You're basically making it easy, if you like, for them to kind of to cover that section of the game, rather than spreading the play and then making a nuisance of yourself, aren't you? That's,
be more direct. Be more direct. We've got someone.
Yeah, be more direct, but be more spread with the directness, if you like, as well. So that it's not quite so.
We got to find the right balance between how we played 2 seasons ago, like when we first challenged for the title, and how defensively good we are this season or the season before. We got to find the right balance, and I think Arteta knows that, and I think he'll sign profiles based on that.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that, but picking the actual names, and I'm not sure how to feel about the actual transfer window at the moment. Because I don't know if it's just smoke and mirrors or if it's just names just being thrown in the ring.
I just hope we get our attacking targets sorted out first before we sign any defenders. Because if we sign defenders again, like I think,
we do need a defender though. We do actually need another centre back, but
we do. But
it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, though. Unfortunately, if the defender's really there to buy you, buy him. Yeah, you're not going to tell. We're not going to buy you until something's over here, unless it's a money thing. And we say, the work is happening in parallel, but strikers are just harder to buy than others because lots of teams need strikers, and they're the ones in demand, so they can play the game with defenders. Where if I don't get you, I'll go somewhere else, so they can get done quick. They can get done quicker. The striker market, unless there's stuff going on in the background, and you have these sort of these decisions and off the record chats and all the rest of it. Yeah, so it's as much as we want that, it's going to be frustrating when we need to be patient. Look, if we don't do the business, players are going to go, Arteta's going to go, and then we know where we stand as a club, and it's going to be as simple as that.
The thing is, my worry is that the owners don't want to back it and don't want to win stuff, but the longer that goes on,
well, they'll reap what they sow. If that's the case, unfortunately, we can't do anything about it.
No. I'm not saying we can. I'm just saying that obviously, there's growing frustration as it is, and if they don't do anything about it, then that's going to go. Yeah. That's going to explode, really.
Yeah. So they are in their prime, and we don't want to be where we were with losing Fabregas, RVP, and it just shouldn't go that way again.
Yeah, I mean, we were given an excuse for that, and that's the problem. And I've still got it ringing in my ears where Wenger said when the price was going up through the roof, if they want players like Henry here, then they'll pay the price. And ever since that's been said, have we had a player like Henry at the club? We haven't really.
Well, I don't think there's been many players like Henry full stop around.
I don't mean I don't mean Henry.
No, but we tried with Arshavin, whatever, but Özil and Sanchez.
I guess Özil is the last one, isn't he? Yeah, Sanchez.
And stuff like that. So I think we tried. And actually, Henry, no one knew. Wenger converted him from a failed left winger.
I'm not talking about the actual player. Yeah. Obviously, is.
But the stature, I get it.
Yeah, I'm talking about a marquee signing that basically comes in, and all right, when we actually signed him, he wasn't a marquee as such, and he was turned into that, but. We kind of moved stadiums to supposedly go with the big boys, and it's not really happened. So obviously, I'm going grey now, getting old, getting there. Getting up that hill, and yeah.
Next 2-3 seasons, we'll be winning stuff.
Well, I want the Champions League before I cork it. So at the end of the day, hopefully I've got a few years before that happens, and not too many before the Champions League happens. So it's just something that needs to happen. Really, it's one of those things that's it's kind of always haunted, isn't it? And it's we're kind of there or thereabouts, but are we going to go the final rung? That's the problem.
Time will tell. Maybe this is the season. There we go. With all the things that are happening, maybe just by somehow.
Well, I hope it is, and all the noise is basically saying that that's the case. But we've been here before, and we've been promised things before. We got promised things last season, and hopefully the introduction of Berta kind of makes that a bit more likely.
Time will tell.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a couple of announcements today. I don't know if you've seen them. One of them, KDB has put out that he's leaving Man City at the end of the season.
What? Oh.
Yeah, have you not seen this?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that? What kind of legacy does he leave? And thoughts on Chelsea ditching him?
Well, yeah, I guess he's going to go down as one of the all-time, greats for the Premier League for sure. Because, I think after Bergkamp and Ozil, he's the good, the number 10 that excelled, and he was multifaceted, and he's for sure going to go down as a great. But I'm glad that I'm glad that he's going though. But I don't think that's going to affect City much, because it was Rodri who was driving the team and not KDB. And but yeah,
they've got to rely on Foden now though.
Thing is, Kevin De Bruyne hasn't been the same for the last year and a half. He's been on the downward. Still quality, but just.
I'm going to say his crap is somebody else's.
No, but his numbers have been great. He's still thereabouts. But he was scoring regularly a couple of seasons back. I think since last season, since the knee injuries or whichever injuries it was, he's just been affected by that, and he's just sort of not quite fallen off a cliff, but he's not the same. So I don't think. It's no surprise. I don't think he would have offered much for City next year. Good option, but is he gonna? He's not gonna do a Salah type stuff and all the rest of it. He's just reach that point where he's gonna go and get his money in the sun somewhere, and then good luck to him. But quality player. Part of an amazing team. And his goals and assists. I don't think they could have done it without him. Integral, but not surprised he's leaving anyway. So, yeah.
Do you think he could do it at another club in the Premier League, though, a lower?
Yeah, of course he could play well, but for what purpose? I think he's won everything, domestically. So and in Europe. So just sort of think about, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see where he goes. Play somewhere just less intense, easier for him, and stuff like that. I don't know if he is going to Saudi or any of like that, but he just wants to play somewhere.
Didn't see any announcement on where he was going. It was just that he was going.
Yeah, so that's
Is his contract running out this season, or is he?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
So he's going on a free. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, basically on a free, but I think I don't think that they'd have it any other way anyway. Really, that's
and no one will be paying top money for him anyway.
No, exactly. So he'll get a signing on fee somewhere.
Saudi would.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll go Saudi. He'll get decent wages. He'll get a signing on fee, and that'll pay for his relocation and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I was thinking earlier on how many players Chelsea had let go, top players that Chelsea had let go. So I think that was a Mourinho decision, wasn't it? And wasn't it a Mourinho decision to let Salah go as well?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think they're both Mourinho. I'm not entirely sure on that. I might be completely wrong, but bit of a faux pas, isn't it, from Chelsea's point of view?
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't know how players are going to develop, how they are, where they fit with what. I mean, they did all right without him, unfortunately. But yeah, there's no guarantees in football. You're never going to know how players turn out. Some are late developers. Some players, given a chance somewhere else, they perform better and they go on. So, it's always in hindsight, these sort of things.
Yeah, no, but it's the best way to rib people.
Yeah, well, no, it's absolutely stupid, isn't it? Like, thank God they didn't keep him. Put it like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I'm happy they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done worse, but there we go.
Yeah.
Obviously got Salah as well. It's,
yeah. Well, yeah, I think that was the bigger one. That was an odd one.
Yeah, he went. Didn't he go to Turkey and then come back or something? I think it was.
Was it not Roma? Didn't he go to Rome?
Oh, it might be Roma, actually.
Yeah, Roma back. Yeah,
it might be Roma, actually. Yeah. Guys, if you're in here, please make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel. We're trying to push to 500 subscribers. So, yeah, if you can do that for us and make sure you're sharing the live as well. Appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Another player that's decided to hang up the boots from the Bundesliga mainly, Mats Hummels has decided he's retiring as well, and he's kind of a bit of a long career. Is obviously did he win? He won the World Cup as well.
Was it?
Yeah. So
the one against Argentina. Yeah.
Argentina. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, another decent career. Kind of always touted as a move to the Premier League, but never really made it across, did he? I think it was always linked to Man United, so it's yeah, another one that's kind of hung up the boots. So just another point of note. Is there anything you kind of remember about him as such?
No, I mean he was really good at his passing as well. And not much to remember.
Yeah, there's a couple of times in the Champions League. Yeah, back in the day.
Spicy character, Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely screwed us a few times, but yeah.
Yeah, won the World Cup in 2014. He actually scored a couple of goals as well.
Yeah.
I knew he scored one, but I didn't know he'd scored more than that.
Yeah, a couple of goals. Played 6 times, so that's pretty much all of them are games, I guess. 6, 7
yeah.
Games, so. Yeah, decent defender. You know the name. You see him around. He seems to be worked consistently at Borussia Dortmund, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then he made that stupid move to Munich, and then back again.
Yeah, oh, that was right. Yeah, but just a pretty good, solid defender. Like
they never seem to get ridiculed for that either, do they? It's when they go across. It's like a Dortmund thing that they just kind of accept them back. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But there's no chance that Sol Campbell comes from Tottenham to Arsenal and then goes back to Tottenham. It's just not happening, is it? I mean,
he started in Bayern Munich 2006, then went to Dortmund, and then went to Bayern Munich in 2016, so 10 years later, and then went back to Dortmund 2019. So yeah. Oh, and then he's at Roma now, isn't he? Yeah. So yeah, I think just a very good, consistent performer at European, national and international level. So yeah, good luck to him.
Yes,
it's a good career.
Good career, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Right, well, before we finish up, let's have some predictions for the Everton game.
1-1.
Are you going for
1-0? 1-0. Arsenal.
To who? No.
Arsenal.
Okay, you won't go for a loss, surely, after saying you were really positive.
No way.
It just has draw written all over it. I mean, other than the Liverpool game, was it Everton have drawn 4 of their last 5. we are going to have Madrid on our minds as much as we don't want to. They're going to be a tough, gnarly team. We're not going to want to do any damage to ourselves. And yeah, I mean, yeah, 1-1. And if they go 1-0 up, I'm not sure we're coming back. So yeah, I'm not particularly hopeful just because the way human nature is.
But Everton did play a day later, and they would have been emotionally drained from their derby. So that's what I
maybe.
want to give Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think we try and look for things to try and. But yeah, I just think they're at home. The only thing in our favour is the 12:30 kickoff. So at least it's not Goodison Wednesday night under the lights. Raucous crowd. 12:30. Yeah, 12:30 games are always very.
Subdued.
Subdued. That's the word. Yeah, we've had it at the Emirates where it's just the atmosphere isn't quite there, sort of thing. So that's in our favour. But Moyes will be in, and he will tell them that we're going to be just thinking about Madrid, and we're not going to want to get into any battles. And it'll be a very Everton performance. As I said, they're very direct with the way they play. We will have all the possession. They're not very big on possession. I think they're second lowest in the league in possession. So it will be an atypical Arsenal game where we'll get frustrated by deep block and then the deep counters, and it's just how we deal with that counter and how we deal with corners, because they've got a lot of height and presence. Beto, Tarkowski, they can whip a ball in. The only main thing is that they're two of their best players are out, and I think I've forgotten the guy's name now. What is it? Ndai, who said Ndai's out. Idrissa Gueye's not out. So Dwight McNeil and Ndai are out, and I think they're the Dwight McNeil's top assists, and then Ndai's like equal top goal scorer. So I think they've got a couple of injuries. We got injuries. So I don't know. I just think, and if it's 1-1 with 20 minutes to go, we're not going to go for the win, and they might take that as well, sort of thing. So that's why I'm thinking it's got 1-1 written all over it.
It's a 2-1 for me. I think we were 2-0 up, and I think it'd be very similar to Fulham, to be honest.
Okay.
So that's where I think it'll go.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the home leg is on Tuesday against Madrid. What have you got for that? What are you thinking?
I want to avoid humiliation at this moment in time. I'll talk to you after Everton. Let's see how everything goes. I'm starting to get a little bit fearful.
Okay, so we'll do a stream on Monday for that, yeah?
Yeah, for free. But yeah, my main thing is that I'm frustrated. You play these big games, and the whole world is watching, and you want to turn up with your best team, and you have two good teams going after each other, and I think we have a chance. But to play them with one arm or one leg tied behind our back, it's just so frustrating, because you just want to, go there with your best, and that's just really annoying. And so, look, we could have a backs against the wall performance and do really well, but it's just over two legs. It's just annoying. I'd like to take them on with
it doesn't help the fact. It doesn't help the fact that the second leg is at the Bernabeu. So,
well, maybe it does. Because we're struggling with the team, the fact that we are struggling with the injuries and stuff, being at home first gives us a chance to at least, get that team used to each other. So bed in Kivior, or make sure Timber and Bryce and White come fit. Whereas if we're going straight to the Bernabeu, we're going from Everton to Spain. So at least this way, we're at home, we're in our own environment, we're hamstrung, to pardon the pun. So I think actually. I think having the home leg suits us in this occasion. I'd agree with you normally, but I think on this occasion, Everton away, playing at home and not going straight to Madrid with the team that we've got, that gives us a chance.
But Madrid second leg are a beast. You saw that Copa del Rey semi-final, right? Yeah. Against Sociedad. Oh man, every time they go back, they went behind, they just came back right in, and one goal is all they need. Even if we go with a 2-goal lead, which is highly unlikely,
Yeah, but we don't have to beat them. We just have to
not lose.
Not lose.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe we throw caution to the
wind.
Stink maybe no, throw caution to the wind. Sod it.
No, I know what I mean is if we had Gabriel, we could stink it.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think we can stink it now. I
We'll
think we have to go for
outscore
it.
you. There we go. We'll have a game of
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, exactly. Let's just have a bit of fun. You know, we know we're not going. Right, we will concede. So fine, you're going to concede. We're going to concede. So let's have a bit of a ding dong battle and let's have a bit of fun. You know, maybe because they can be got at. They've got players that are missing. They're relying on old players out of position. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I just want to avoid humiliation because everyone's going to avoid context and just look at the score and
yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, obviously, even the Liverpool fans that are basically going, well, we didn't do the treble, the double, the quad, whatever it is, are waiting for us to go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're out of that. So yeah, we won the league and you didn't win anything. They're just waiting for it, and it's just like, can you not just enjoy winning the league? It's just so it's tiring, really. You're like, just enjoy it, just enjoy winning, and you're kind of 10% enjoying it, and then 90% waiting for somebody else to slip up. It's just it's quite sad, really, in my opinion. But there we go. But yeah, I think we have to outscore them at the Emirates for a couple of goals, really.
Yeah.
And there we go. Anyway, it's been enjoyable, Cigar. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll join us again at another point.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I work, so I have to try as much
you're
as
at work now?
I'm at work now, yeah.
Oh wow, there's some job where you just have to sit down and.
It's a Friday. It's a bit chill, you know. So I'm just at a meeting room, and I'm just like, you know.
Oh, fair enough. Nice, like it. Sabs, thank you very much.
My pleasure, as always.
Yeah, and we hope we enjoy the game on Saturday, and yeah, we'll address it again on Monday then, and see what's what from there. What are you guys up to for the weekend? Anything entertaining?
I'm on ticket exchange all weekend.
What, trying to get a Madrid ticket?
Yeah, yeah. Just because I'm my son. Well, I entered the ballot. Normally, I go to the ballot, and it's because for my son to get a ticket. And anyway, he didn't get one, so I might give him my season ticket. So then I need to go and get myself a ticket. So I could go, but I might give it to my son instead. So there we go. I know.
Yeah, once you've got one in your hand, you give it to your son. Until then, you can whistle.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm on the ticket exchange all weekend and looking after pets and children. There we go.
Fair enough. Yeah, anything planned to go?
I play cricket, so I play cricket on the weekend. So I got a game tomorrow, right after the Everton Arsenal game, which is perfect. So.
Right. Okay. Nice. So yeah, good timing on that.
Yeah, 6:30 in the morning is the Everton game, and 9 o'clock is my cricket game. So
perfect.
Yeah, fair enough. Nice.
Okay. Oh, actually, I did remember I might go to Brentford, Chelsea. I'm a member at Brentford, so I might go along and laugh at Chelsea again.
Oh, okay. My mate's 50th is on the day of the Brentford game, so I'm going to be selling my ticket for that because I've got to go in. It's his 50th, so.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm not. Yeah. We got nothing riding on it anyway, so it's kind of well, okay. I'll sell it and we'll go for a piss up. You know what I mean? But
very good.
So
you up to anything?
Yeah.
You doing anything?
Not really. No, I've got I've got some renovations going on in my back room, and I might do a bit of that.
Very good.
But nothing really exciting. So
another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise, indeed. But on that note, we'll call it a day. If you're in the stream, please make sure you're liking and subscribing, sharing the channel. And yeah, I've been Sparks. This is Footy Corner. We'll see you next time. Good night.